listening to the Shite Talk podcast show. Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talk podcast show. Mark and Ken.
What's up?
On episode 238, back with another episode.
Again, hopefully.
Who knew having a child would be such a job?
Yeah, well, it's okay.
Ken thought he could just take a week off. He's like, yeah, I'll have the child. I'll be back next week. Don't worry about it. I just need a few days, and we'll be fine. And that was a month ago.
Yeah, well, technically we were back last week.
we were back last week, and then the internet failed us. Apparently, awfully gets internet from 9 to 12 o'clock, and we recorded before that kind of quota, so Ken currently didn't have internet.
Who knew?
Yeah, I love how it was me who hotspots my iPad to record these shows is throwing stones at you for not having internet. But that is the way.
That is the way. This is the way.
You haven't really sold fatherhood to me. I know I text this about it. It doesn't seem like the best idea.
It's fine. It's grand.
I'm glad some people believe that it is grand and it is a good thing to have children, because the world would end without people like that.
The first week is absolute fucking chaos, but
yeah, week
3 is going okay.
Wait till they're teenagers. You'll want to kill them.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine.
We'll have this conversation when he is 11 years old, and you'll feel like he'll hook in the kid. So he can't go out drinking again.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine, will it? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have this conversation later on, and we'll see. I don't think I have the attention span to have a child.
You don't really need to do much.
Well, yeah. This is from like when little kids come over here and I have to mind them for any amount of time. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, this is fun, grand. Oh, wait, I'm going to put you down because I currently want to play FIFA or watch a series for 15 minutes and then wander around the house.
Yeah, I kind of spend a lot of my time sitting on the couch playing Xbox.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, just with a baby sitting on my lap.
Just have a remote control that can't be turned on and have them just press buttons. He'll enjoy the buttons.
She doesn't really do anything at the minute. She just kind of lies there and is like, oh look, there's my daddy.
Alright, well that's grand. Well, yeah, when they turn after one, then they'll kind of want more stimulation of, here, give me attention, or I'll start crying.
Yeah, she's kind of just once you feed her and change her nappy, she's fine. She's good.
Oh, you have to change nappies? Oh, that's not good. That's poo in it. That's where the poo lives.
It's not as bad as you think it is.
I'm sure you get used to it. Our bodies are adapted to not find babies disgusting or repulsing.
Oh, well, that's a lie.
Clearly. I kind of feel like it's a good insurance policy. You know, like when you're changing their nappy, because in the future they'll change your nappy.
Well, that's the plan.
That's the deal you have when you have a kid, and they've already agreed to that by being alive.
I've made that decision for them.
Yeah, exactly. They had no say in the matter. So, how is it? Has it finally hit you that you actually have a child now, or is there kind of I can't actually believe this still?
It's kind of, I don't know, it's just, it feels like she's always been there.
That's kind of weird.
It feels like she's always been there, and then it feels like she's only arrived yesterday as well, so at the same time.
Yeah, and just for our listeners, what did you name your baby? Because we left the show last, whatever it was, with you on tender hooks saying, no, I'm not telling you the baby's name, it's top secret, and you're going to have to find out next week.
Baby's name's Amber.
Amber, which is a lovely name. I know loads of Ambers.
Yeah.
Both human and canine, whatever the dog is.
I've only actually discovered so many people called Amber.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Last
kind of
3
like when you
weeks.
buy a car, you start seeing the car everywhere. And
Yeah,
then, it's kind of like you hear somebody's name or someone's named this, and then you hear the name all over the place, and you're, Jesus, this is popular.
yeah. So that was a bit of a mad one.
And how did you come to the name Amber? Is she named after somebody, or is it just like the name?
There's a Metallica song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I used to know someone who said that he wanted to name their child after a Foo Fighters song.
Yeah, there's a Metallica song. It's about drug addiction, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the Foo Fighters song was. But I don't know. Yeah, I remember. I'm gonna name after that because it's a Foo Fighters song. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, I thought it would be like named after maybe you had a third auntie or something like that, or else. Yeah, I guess a song's name are quite popular. I have my cousin's kid's called Kylo.
Kylo after Star Wars.
Yeah, Kylo Ren.
Yeah, like there's some people who name their kids like fucking weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to give it a very niche reference to something that like people our generation would recognize. Go, oh, you named it after that, but like their generation wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Like there's a kid when we were in the hospital. Like there was a kid in there that was called like his name was supposed to be Sam. Like we could hear the parents talking about it. His name was Sam up until the day before he was born, and then the mother heard a different name and changed his name. And I was kind of like, how long is that name going to last? Like you're going to hear another name now, and you're going to be like, you know what? I want to change his name again.
Yeah, there should be a 90-day cooling off period where you can change the name. You can just go on the line, and after the 90 days, you're stuck with whatever you named the kid.
Yeah, like it's not a good idea to change the kid's name the day before it's born.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it is a big decision. Did you go through names and possible variations that they could be slagged off with?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah, like every name, I was like, no, kids are going to call her whatever,
and slag her off.
Yeah.
We should get.
And if they don't, I will.
Yeah, exactly. See, you have to bully your kids, so they just get used to it. So they're like, just my dad treats me all the time. I bully my sister's kid all the time. Every time he comes, it's like, heave something just out of his reach and take away. Just out of his reach, take away. And I take his cup off and go, you can't have this. You can't have this. You can't have this. And it's really entertaining for me. And she's like, stop bullying my kid.
And she still lets you like be around the kid.
Yeah, the kid thinks I'm playing with it. Dumbass. I call it Finbag.
Or else the kid is playing you, and the kid's just like, look at this idiot.
Yeah, he thinks he's bullying me. He's actually playing with me. I got attention. I win.
Yeah, what a dope.
What an idiot. Adults are so dumb.
I'm actually going, look at this stupid kid, huh?
Yeah, look at it. You want this dollar? You want this dollar? Yeah, so we go on to the stories because I feel like people are itching for either idiots or something getting lodged somewhere. My sister was telling me like, oh, every now and again she goes, do you ever do this on your podcast? And I go, generally the answer is no. And she's like, you should do this on your podcast. She wants us to do a segment because apparently every podcast is doing this now again, where we read out stories from Reddit. I kind of feel like this is a podcast does it, and we're just going to be copying some other person's podcast, and then we have to determine whether they're the asshole or not.
Oh, what's that called? On Reddit, is it like, it's called, I can't remember.
Am I an asshole?
People post in and ask like if they're right or wrong or whatever.
Yeah. And we kind of have this because we'll be doing a segment in the show called Dumb as Criminals. And I think one of the stories is where a person robs something from somebody's house, and I kind of feel like your man should have given him 20 quid. Like he should have given him 20 quid
for robbing his house.
For robbing his house. So maybe we can do that segment for there. We go, okay, is he in the wrong here?
Would you give somebody 20 quid if they robbed your house?
Not if they robbed my house, but I kind of feel like I think with this guy I probably would give him at least a tenner now, in fairness.
Along with all your possessions.
Along with all my possessions. Well, wait till you hear the story. And then there was another story where this guy who broke into a person's car and as well. And I'm trying to not spoil the story. Something very odd happens when you broke into his car, and it's probably why there's some people who are used to night shifts, and there's other people who aren't. And I kind of find it like this robber stick to robbing things during the day because he's just not cut out for nighttime work. Is how I'll describe this. I think I did a better job last time in the show of building this up, setting Easter eggs or whatever the story was.
Setting Easter eggs.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. I'm setting Easter eggs, Ken.
Setting Easter eggs for your dumbest criminals.
Dumbest criminals, yeah.
You should just litter them throughout the podcast. Don't do them all at once. Just litter them throughout so that it's proper Easter eggy.
It's a proper Easter egg. You're like, this is building up to this point.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that during the show. And then you have a story about a piss story.
I have a piss story. Surprise.
And we'll be also talking about Netflix and probably why they're in fear of why they're losing so many customers. So they started doing something very, very strange, which I think is going to lose them even more customers. And we also have, this kind of falls under the whole dumbest criminal thing, except he's a police officer. And it's something I thought this was bound to happen anyway, and it annoys me that people do hear it. But Ken says it's a necessary thing that they do, and I'm like, get in shape to do this job. He probably doesn't even remember what we were talking about last week because he's on baby brain.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm dealing with. So it's gonna be a surprise what we're talking about to Ken. I basically have got to see his initial reaction, and then I'll get to hear it again and realize Ken will never change his opinion about anything ever. So we'll get crack on. So our first story, and I don't even know because I must be suffering with baby brain as well. I don't know if we mentioned that we're going to be talking about the Eurovision. I don't think we have, but we're going to talk about the Eurovision, and we're going to do it now. Ireland's oddly obsessed with the Eurovision.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's because we won it 7 times.
Yeah, exactly. We're the kings, the queens. I guess it's queens definitely of Europe.
Yeah, the ultimate living in the past. Like, when's the last time Ireland won?
Exactly. We're like a former star of some sort. We're still hold on to our glory. Still have the same haircut. We still wear the same fucking beaded leather top that we've worn 67 years ago, just in case somebody walking down the street passes us and go, "Oh my god, that's that person from the past."
Yeah, like when's the last time we even kind of qualified as a possible winner for the Eurovision?
I don't know when. I think Jedward. I think it was Jedward.
Yeah, that's fucking shameful. That is.
And Jedward were so popular and did so well for us. I think we came 8th. We're okay, we will now forever just go with Jedward. Jedward is our Eurovision entry, and we're just going to keep using Jedward. And then the following year, they got obliterated. We're like, oh, people are sick and tired of Jedward.
Yeah, and then we sent Dustin to Turkey. Remember that?
Yeah, but there's a thing that happens in Ireland, right? That leading up to Eurovision, people are like, "Oh, the Eurovision is shite. I hate the Eurovision. I don't even know why it's on." And then you talk to anybody, but they've seen the Eurovision. It's like guilty pleasure that everybody has, that they watch the Eurovision. They're like, "Oh no, I didn't watch that shite. I wouldn't watch that shite." And then
I watch it for one reason.
Why?
I like the way like Marty Whelan takes the piss out of everyone.
I like flick between. I think everyone does this, like Graham Norton and Marty Whelan. Because Graham Norton definitely does the show better than Marty.
But Marty says really mean things.
Yeah. But we had a huge debate in our house leading up to this, because it's unfortunate that the Dairy Girl didn't get into the Eurovision. Maybe because Dairy Girls, they're like, we'll have a girl from Derry, and people will have seen the show and vote for us. Because she kind of looked like a character from Dairy Girls.
Like, I'm kind of surprised that Rasmus didn't win.
Yeah, I like it.
Because, they're an already, famous, established band.
Yeah, well, sometimes that doesn't really work for you.
Yeah, you know why?
Look at Tattoo. What they did win it. That's a bad example. ABBA. They made their name off it, didn't they?
Yeah, ABBA made their name off it. Celine Dion, she won it.
Yeah, I kind of just think we need to break out the nuclear weapons here. We need to use the big guns. Chrissy Moore.
Yeah, Chrissy Moore.
I kind of no. One of the big Chrissy Moore would not be a good. One of the biggest.
No.
I was going to say U2 just to see you melt.
I
think U2 is a huge band.
Yeah, but they're also a band of fucking idiots.
Well, the thing is, what I wanted to see with if Ireland did get through is Graham Norton. What would he call Derry? Here is Ireland's entry, and it is from where is it from? Where is it? Is it from Londonderry or is it from Derry? Huh? Oh, Graham, where does your legion lie? Because you're in a UK broadcaster right now, right? And you have to pick between if it's Londonderry or Derry, and you're going to be hated either way.
I think you've kind of read into this a bit too much now, Mark.
I think we were drinking at the time, so this is what happens. Like, we got into this thing, it's like, oh my god, what will he say? Will he call it? He'll have to call it Derry. He can't call it Londonderry. He's one of us. He has to call it. So this is what's happening in our house. The qualifier. And our biggest disappointment, we didn't know what he would call it. Would he call it London? I'm pretty sure we fell on the fact that he'll probably call it Derry.
I don't know if he would or not.
See, that's the thing. What is being said into his ear? Because he's in a fucking shite situation.
He's also in a situation you have to wonder, though, does he really give a fuck?
No, he doesn't care.
Once he's selling his wine, he doesn't give a shit.
He's there sitting on the couch going, I don't care. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Swirl, swirl, swirl.
Yeah, the only reason that he even has a wine is for Eurovision.
What?
It makes Eurovision more interesting. You just have to pay for his wine supply.
Oh man, I don't know if we can talk about this, and I know it's kind of like this. They went full camp this year. They just hit that thing into overdrive this year.
Did they?
Oh yeah, a few of the entries.
It's not always kind of like that.
Oh, there's a subtle bang of campness off it, and it is a part of Eurovision. Whether you like it or not, but there's what was the country, the qualifier with the bull, and they're all wearing it was leathers. It was full blown, it was we don't have a great song, but we're going to go for the S&M vote here. We're just going for the people who and this maybe we'll catch on and we'll qualify based off perverts around Europe. That was one thing. Maybe just over the years, I've it just stuck out for whatever reason this year, because it is always a little bit camp.
It's always seriously camp.
It's There's a hint of it, but there's like this also like Euro trash pop to it as well. And this one of the biggest disappointments I thought with your one who did represent Ireland. The biggest disappointment. There's no link to Ireland there. There's no there's no Kaylee. I just want like the backing dancers to do a bit of a jig. Just randomly throw it in there. Just do a bit of a jig.
Why?
Because it's kind of like U2. They've got that song, Streets Have No Name, and now every song they've done since then kind of have a Streets Have No Name kind of sound to it. Kind of has that like opening little guitar riff, and they just work into every song. And that's U2, and U2 do that. I want that for Eurovision. I just want the Riverlands worked into every performance to now the day that I die. Is that too much to ask? Just a little bit of a backing dancer just throwing the jig, or maybe a person with that drum, the byron, in somewhere. He doesn't even have to make any sound. You can mute him, and he's just in there, just doing it for like, look at this Ireland, vote for us.
Mark. It's about trying to win.
Yeah, we won the last time we did that. That's the last time we won, is when we had like a bit of kind of like I do feel like
it didn't. What's the last song that Ireland won?
What's in the year probably, or Niamh Kavanagh?
Can
we get Johnny Logan to write us a song? And Johnny Logan, that's the nuclear weapon we need. Johnny Logan. We get Johnny Logan.
There's no fucking Bowron or fucking Irish dancing in Johnny Logan.
Yeah, well, maybe he would have won by more if there was. But like back in the day, there was always like a subtle nod to the country's or like traditional music. Or maybe I'm just insane. I'm just imagining this.
Did you know that Jedward have 2 Eurovision records?
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What are the records?
The tallest hair.
Yeah.
And the biggest shoulder pads.
Biggest shoulder pads. Oh, I'm surprised about the shoulder pads one.
And Ireland holds a record for the most points from one country in a year in the 1.1 Juror voting system. We got 9 points out of 10 from Belgium in 1970.
9 points out of 10?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't everybody get like 12 points now for winning it?
Yeah, well, back then you didn't.
Oh, all right.
Back then it was like they gave out, each juror gave 1 point.
Oh, all right. And we got 9 out of 70.
We got 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
Yeah. There's 10 jurors and 9 of them voted for Ireland.
Yeah, so what do Ireland need to do, Ken?
What do Ireland need to do? Abandon the whole fucking thing.
No. You haven't abandoned the thing. Like, it is a part of culture of Ireland. Like, my girlfriend's from Hungary, and she could not get over the fact that we are all this emotionally invested in a contest we're not even in. We were watching. She was like, I've never watched this in my life. And it's like, what? It's like, I think she's lived with a few Irish people when she first came over here. And she says, I used to watch it with them every now and again, once or twice. But I wouldn't sit down purposely to watch it.
Emer Quinn was the last one that we won with.
Who the fuck's Emer Quinn?
There you go. 1996.
1996. What was the name of the song?
The Voice.
The Voice. We'll have to dig that out and give it.
And then before that was Paul Harrington and Charlie McGettigan with Rock and Roll Kids in 1994.
There was that one guy, we got the world tonight. That's the last time it was like a contest in Ireland to actually be in Ireland. Mickey Joe Hart. Was that his name?
Oh, is that lad? Yeah.
He didn't win it though. We thought we were going to win it with him.
Yeah, that's because Ireland gets delusional about things.
We do. We thought Dustin the Turkey was a good entry.
Yeah, sure. We thought we were going to win the World Cup there one time.
Yeah, well, We always go into things full of confidence, and then bitter reality sinks in. We're not America. America goes in with delusional confidence and does all right and thinks they won. We did great.
It creates a conspiracy theory about why they didn't win.
Yeah, exactly. We did great. What the problem is? Everybody else, but we're still great, and we're just like, there's this sobering reality sinks into us where we're like, oh.
What country won? Oh yeah, we're bombing them.
This is what our life is. It's like Ireland actually wakes up from a hangover after a tournament, and we're like, you realize. Did you ever see that? It was like a video years ago where a guy wakes up in a bed and he looks over and he's like, there's some mess that he's just woken up with, and he's just like, he's quietly falls out of bed, puts on his pants, and sneaks downstairs, and there's a kid at the end of the stairs and goes, "Dad!" He realizes he's at his house. That's Ireland after any major tournament or song contest. We thought we were great, and now we wake up to this entire mess that we created ourselves.
Yeah, and we're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Talk about messes that you created yourself. Netflix, they are losing bucket loads of subscriptions. I think they lost their most in their history there last month.
Oh yeah, they lost 14 million or something, didn't they?
Yeah. So
Facebook weeks.
Yeah, they're all kind of playing around with different ways of keeping people's interest. So like Disney Plus release their series is week by week, and some people like that about because they have something to look forward to, and they don't binge watch it and then have nothing looking forward to it for the next few months. I kind of like have a attention span, so it doesn't bother me either way. It'll take me months to get through anything. But one of the ways Netflix are trying to do it is by making it a cheaper product, and they're going to offer a discounted price, so it won't be free, but it'll be just discounted. And the catch is that you have to go watch ads in order to get your Netflix for this price.
I think Netflix is already kind of dying.
Is it?
Yeah, because you've got Disney are already not going to renew contracts for Disney products, or Disney material that is outsourced at the minute when the contracts run out, because they're going to go into Disney Plus. Then you've got Paramount Plus are looking to come to Ireland, so they're going to take all the stuff that they have. Then you've got HBO Max is going to come to Ireland, and they're going to take all the stuff that they've got. Then you've got what's the other one? Hulu's going to come, so they're going to take all the Fox stuff. So you're going to be left with just Netflix is going to be Netflix originals.
Well, see, with all those subscriptions, they'll always want a fee, and I think they're not. They kind of know people that won't go to pay all those subscriptions. It's just going to be easier for Netflix to give them money to have them on their platform.
They're going to, if they're smart, like Disney was, they'll do like Disney did. They'll do Netflix do as well at the minute. They'll do deals with TV providers. You can get your Disney and your Netflix and stuff included in your Sky package for a discounted rate.
All right. Yeah. Well, that could be the way. That could be the way forward. I think that's what people are doing, because Sky are afraid that people will just go, Why would someone give us 60 quid a month when they could have all these subscriptions for €10 each? They could have 6 different subscriptions. They could have ESM Plus. They could have a HBO Max, and they could have their Netflix and Amazon, or what you call it, Amazon's works in with the packages as well. So it's going to become a very competitive market, and I think more and more they are going to have to either create their original content or look to Warner Brothers in order to create content for them. That's their only bedfellow by the sounds of it. But like I think it will go through cycles. Like there's really comes like bits in Disney where there's this dull. So I just think people are just gonna hop from one to the other. Go, oh, I've watched everything on Disney. I'm just gonna cancel that and go to Amazon Prime. And then Amazon Prime's going to come boring, and they'll jump to Netflix, and then Netflix will come boring, and it'll just create a cycle. So I think there will be a thing for people there, no matter what they like. I think content will get harder and harder for them to buy, because before they're the only ones releasing it. But I think adding ads to it will just kill it off completely.
Yeah, adding ads is like probably the worst thing you could do to it.
I think I remember hearing before that this is before really the era of streaming, and people are just constantly complaining about ads. They're actually increases the enjoyment of shows, because it adds a layer of layer of like, you're waiting on to see what happens. So something happens on a dramatic thing, and you're like, oh, the ad breaks are on. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, how will I cope without these ads? Why won't these ads end? And then it comes back, you're like, oh my God, it's back. And with like Netflix, you don't get that, because there's just a straight show. Do you ever see they try to add that? But they try to add that in. But sometimes you need a toilet break as well.
Yeah, you can just pause it.
Yeah, but, like, how do I feel like the ads were like a perfect way to like, oh, it ads are on, now I'll pee. Your body gets a cue. It's like, pee, make some tea, sit back down, or make popcorn. It's like the ads are on. You have to get everything done before the ads are over. And like, there's certain shows that they try to add in, like what ads would give you by just, they'll fade out and it goes black and then it fades back in, like in a few seconds, and it's just meant to be like, the scene's ended, we're now here again.
Another thing that's going to be annoying with it is like, you know the way you've got ads on YouTube?
Yeah.
So like, our Netflix ad's going to work the same way, where somebody's mid-sentence and the fucking ad comes up.
I think they'll be better slotted in. I imagine it'll be like, a lot of their shows are like old TV series, so for them, an ad will pop in through, or they'll have them spliced with different shows, like kind of like Film 4 and War 2 or something like that.
Because it's going to annoy me.
Do you still watch like regular TV?
Yeah.
I don't watch regular TV anymore. Like, and I sat down there. There was like, I think it was like FBI Files or something like that was on, and I sat down to watch it, and I was like, I can't put up with this. Just like these ads. I can't, like, I was like, I can't believe people used to watch TV like this. It was just like we are so spoiled now, having no ads in shows anymore. It used to be such a pain in the hole.
But like, the thing is that there's more ads on TV now than there ever used to be.
And I think that's the problem with it is because they still need the same amount of viewing.
Like, my dad was saying that, I don't know where he read this, that so it used to be, like, not too long ago, like, say the early noughties, it used to be 15 minutes of a show for 3 minutes of ads.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, some stations now are like 7.5 minutes of a show for 5 minutes of ads.
Yeah, like Ireland used to have...
ad breaks have gotten longer.
Yeah, ad breaks have got longer. Ireland used to have quite short ads, because we used to like supplement our programs for TV licenses. So people pay their TV license, and they have a little bit of ads just to keep the whole station going. Whereas now, they like, I think there's a drop in payment of it. People don't really pay it that they're meant to, and then since the viewership of TV is going down and down and down, there's less people actually watching TV, so advertisers aren't paying as much. So they have to give the ads cheaper than they would have. So they put more ads on to supplement it, which drives more and more people away. And I think Netflix are going to fall into this. If you're like a student, or if you're kind of struggling to pay for it and you're like, oh, let's get the cheaper version and I'll put up with an odd bit of ads here and there, you're kind of when you can afford, you're probably just going to move away from Netflix. I wouldn't say you would go, I'll get the premium because I'm sick and tired of these fucking ads.
Yeah.
But then again, I very rarely watch programs. I don't have the attention span for it, so maybe I'm different. So maybe I started a Peacemaker.
The John Cena thing.
What?
The John Cena thing.
Yeah, I started out like maybe 2 months ago. I'm on episode 5. that's how slow I got to get through stuff. It's really good. I'm looking forward to the next episode. God knows when I'll watch it. You have a story about piss.
A great lead-in, Mark.
Yeah, no, like his first day back.
Yeah, I have a story about piss.
Yeah.
So there's this guy from Alabama, and he's been putting videos up on, I don't know, I'm assuming it's like YouTube or Facebook or fucking somewhere, where he's been injecting his own piss. His name is Christopher Key. He has a vlog called Vaccine Police, and he's the reason that he's doing this is because a guy called Dr. Edward Group, he done like an interview with him, and he said basically injecting piss is a full sure way to keep yourself safe from COVID. And like, you would imagine, like, with doctor at the start of his name, this guy's a doctor.
Yeah, that's kind of
yeah, but no, he's a chiropractor.
Oh, right, yeah,
and a guru.
A guru. So he's even better than a doctor. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, like he's unreal. Like he definitely knows what he's talking about.
Yeah,
smart.
Well, like a person with a degree, they have a doctorate, so technically you can call yourself doctor. Isn't that the way it is?
That's the way it is, but like you can't really go around giving people like advice on immunology if you're like a fucking chiropractor.
Or if you're like you have a degree in accounting.
Or like fucking sports.
It's incredible we both fell on that particular study.
Yeah, we both went there.
It's incredible. It's like we know someone who's loaded with bullshit. Yeah. Well, that's what the big challenge, other than probably maybe actual doctors who study for 8 years and have to like also go through an internship and like basically do an apprenticeship on top of their college work. A lot of courses teach bollocksology. There's a lot of bollocks that goes into college courses, and like I think the amount of shite that college courses now teach, it's kind of diluting the whole I'm educated thing about it. And I kind of feel like certain things, and maybe chiropractic isn't even a subject that falls into this.
And like there's certain things that you're kind of like,
yeah, like
a little bit of education is a dangerous thing.
Well, that's the problem. We're all like, we all think the world has got more polarized, like in terms of, but we've also come ourselves more polarized. So we also have, everyone has biases, a really deep-seated biases. So we all think everyone else is crazy and delusional and think they're insane, but we are also having that said bit ourselves. And we're probably all a little bit right as well.
Right.
Yeah, we're incredible. Like, I'm biased. Everyone's biased. Everyone I know is biased. But I'd like to think that, like, if someone comes with a good point of view, I'll change my mind. But they have to come up with a good point of view. Until then, they're a thick fuck. And I'm going to put that out to them.
Oh, Mark.
So,
Mark.
what happened when he injected himself with piss?
I don't know what happened to him, but he's just a fucking clown.
Yeah, well, I imagine injecting yourself with piss isn't great for you anyway.
Like, I've heard of a few people doing this.
I know, I've heard of people drinking their own piss.
I've heard of people injecting it because it cures COVID.
And did anyone try it that you know of?
Nobody that I like personally know tried it, but like I have heard of people doing it, and everybody's just kind of like, "You're a fucking moron."
See, I know. You remember the UFC fighter Leo Machida?
Yeah.
Him and his dad and his brothers all drink their own piss. And I think sometimes they put it through a filter, so you filter once or twice to build themselves up, because they said it's a little bit strong when you first drink it, because you're drinking your own piss. So they filter it down and then down, so it takes out some of the the shit. So it's all the strong taste you're getting from
it. Takes out some of the piss.
Yeah, it takes the ammonia out of your piss, which ammonia isn't good for you. You shouldn't be really drinking ammonia anyway. So you're probably better off if you are to drink or inject your own piss, pass it through a few filters here, and
put it through the old British filter.
Yeah, exactly. Ask your parents' permission beforehand.
Or don't.
or don't. Maybe, but that'll get onto people going, "Oh, I'll drink other people's piss." And whatever about drinking your own piss and having hormones and other things in your body that your body is used to having in your body because it used to be in you. Other people's piss is completely different.
Yeah, other people's piss is probably not a good thing to be drinking.
Yeah. But however, people still do it. And as we covered in last week's show,
these people are generally sports scientists.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Do you know the mechanism, what they say it does to you? Because I know why they said it does. It boosts their immune system.
Yeah, that's all you have to say. Oh, it boosts your immune system. How can drinking your own piss boost your immune system?
I don't know. But that's what all these anti-vaxxers do, is about strengthen their immune system. If you have a strong immune system, you'll overcome anything.
Yeah, do you know what makes your immune system strong?
Antibodies from different diseases. You know where you get them?
Vaccines.
Yeah. That's what I was like to someone before. It's if only if there were a way, if we could give everybody COVID, but a really mild dose of COVID, because then all they did have was antibodies, and we wouldn't, people would be able to fight themselves, but they wouldn't get sick. I was oh yeah, the vaccine does that.
There was an anti-vaxxer guy going around on Facebook saying that.
What?
That we should, they should come up with a way to basically infect everybody with a non-active version of COVID, and that would give everybody antibodies to fight it off. And everybody commented on it was what do you think a vaccine is?
5G. And what was his response to it? It was no.
He just started blocking people.
Why does everyone tell me the vaccine? That's what the vaccine is. Yeah, it is strange, but I think we're kind of over the worst of it now.
Oh, Mark, don't say that.
Because wait until the next thing that something else comes out, and it'll be oh. Well, I guess 5G is the next thing, isn't it? Well, that's already a thing that they're already complaining about.
Yeah, 5G.
So, so have you ever watched I think it was like America's Dumbest Criminals, and then they called it just Dumbest Criminals because they used to show bits from the UK.
Yeah, I used to love that TV show.
Yeah, well, Ken, you're in for a treat. Because Shite Talk podcast show has now their own version of the Dumbest Criminals. This is kind of like Idiots of the Week.
Shite Talk, Shite Criminals.
Yeah, shit criminals at being criminals, and they're just shit. Well, there's this guy. So this is our segment also. So we've created 2 segments within the segment of is this guy an asshole? And we're not asking if he's an asshole, but was he in the wrong? Did he even do anything wrong? And I'm on the case where I was like, I think maybe your man should just leave him a tenner. So, maybe leave him because there was a suspected burglar before robbing the owner's lawnmower. Cut your man's grass with the lawnmower before robbing it. So I don't think he entered the house at all. And like he didn't just cut like the back grass; he cut the front grass as well. So first of all, he took, I think it was left in the driveway, and he cut the front grass, and then brought it around the back, and then cut the back grass as well. Before the police were caught, because your man had cameras set up in his house, and he called the police, say, "Here, there's somebody cut my grass." I don't know about. Your man got spooked and ran off. But as he ran off, Ken, he ran off with the lawnmower and then left the lawnmower in the alleyway.
So he didn't really rob it.
He didn't rob at all. Your man should owe him for for cutting the grass. If anything, he's like cutting your man's grass, and he's like, "Oh shit, I hear the police. That's probably for me. I'm trying to do this good deed. I'm gonna fucking get out of this." And he runs off. Maybe he's a little bit slow. And he's like, "Oh shit, this isn't my lawnmower. I can't go back because the police are there. Fucking leave it here." And he runs off.
I don't understand what he was doing.
He was robbing. He was testing. I guess he's testing lawnmower before. Maybe he was like has like a hint of decency to him, right? And he's like, if I rob this guy's lawnmower, he's not going to be able to cut his grass. So I'll cut his grass one more time for him, and then I'll rob the lawnmower. And then he can go out and buy a new one. But at least he has a bit of time because his grass is now cut. He's a few weeks. Like maybe that's it as well. But I don't think he's a bad guy.
I think he's a bit of a weirdo.
His name is... The police know who he is, by the way, as well.
So, and what's happened to
him? Marcus Hubbard. They've warned out for his arrest.
And what's he been charged with?
Robbing a lawnmower. Breaking an entry and robbing a lawnmower.
Oh, I suppose he probably broke into his shed.
Yeah, well, I think it was left out in the driveway, to be honest with you.
We had, like, a few years ago, like 20-odd years ago, we had just gotten a German Shepherd pup. And he's only about 3 months old. And he used to stay in the shed at night time.
Yeah.
And we got up one morning and he was like real limpy, like there's something wrong with him. We had to bring him to the vet, and somebody had bet the shit out of him. But we realized that they actually broke into our shed and they stole, the plastic starter off the lawnmower.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they took, and bet the shit out of the dog.
Oh, what fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Could have just took the thing off the machine and just fucking left the dog.
Yeah, like they properly fucked up his back.
Oh, fucking assholes. And did you catch the guys, or?
No, sure. How do you know who did that?
Yeah, I guess if you had cameras. But back then, like, who had cameras in their house?
Yeah, assholes.
Yeah. Anyway, your man was, upon the officer's arrival, I think he was seen dragging the lawnmower with him. He abandoned the lawnmower in an alley, but evaded the police.
But they know who he is.
He is probably. I think he might be a known criminal. To be honest, maybe like you said, he's a bit soft.
He's definitely a bit soft.
Yeah. So like, I personally think your man should be like, and then like The Sun, for instance, right, has the worst headline ever for this. They need to up their game in terms of headlines. Oh wait, no, that's the next story. Sorry. But like, I don't think he was in the wrong. What do you think he was in the wrong?
Yeah, well, he broke into the guy's shed probably and stole his lawnmower.
He didn't steal a lawnmower though. He cut the grass with it and then he got spooked and ran off with it accidentally, and then realized what he did. Couldn't bring it back because the police are currently out there chasing him probably. So he left it there somewhere the police can see, and then he was like gone. He's like, see it, bye. I'm not getting fucking time for doing a good deed. Your man owes me fucking 20 quid here for doing a good job on his grass there. Or else he robbed it and was like, I just need his lawnmower, right? And I might return it, but I'll cut his grass.
I think more than likely he was robbing the lawnmower. He thought, if the neighbours see me using the lawnmower, they won't think it's that strange if I'm walking away with the lawnmower. He heard the cops. He panicked.
But I think he got around to the back as well, because I've seen photos of it, and there's him cutting the front grass originally, and then I seen him in the back cutting the back grass. So he did the fucking entire garden for your man. If anything, your man should be paying him. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think he did anything wrong here. I'd be like, here, look, hey, don't take my lawnmower. I'll give you 20 quid if you cut my grass. Just like, if you do it once a month, because you did a good job. Maybe he did a shite job.
Maybe that's the problem is. Maybe he did a shite job.
Yeah. So, you follow on he was bad then here? We were following the whole thing of, I think he's in the good. I think he's a good guy.
Would you let him have your lawnmower?
I'm quite lazy, Ken. I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret. I'm really lazy. And if I had a lawnmower and someone robbed it but was willing to cut my grass for me, they could have the lawnmower as long as grass was cut.
What about the next time? What about the next time the grass needed to be cut?
If I called your man and go, would you cut my grass? Like, I've let you have the lawnmower there. I'll give you some money. He gets the lawnmower. He gets a customer to cut his grass, and I get my grass cut. Fair enough. You can have my lawnmower at that stage. If it breaks, I'll pay for repairs. I just don't want to cut the grass.
This is very weird logic, Mark.
Are you not surprised?
No.
But like, Ken, you don't strike me as his most like enthusiastic person about cutting grass as well. Like, surely I
hate cutting grass.
Yeah, surely this seems like a pretty sweet deal to you as well. Like, you go, yeah, I'd take that if it was offered to me.
Somebody wants to come and cut the grass, yeah, fine, but you're not going to fucking rub my lawnmower.
What if the price of him cutting your grass was, first of all, the means to cut your grass? He needs a lawnmower, but he wants to cut his own grass and maybe cut someone else's grass as well. But next time he cuts his grass, you're going to get charged. And over the course of like however many years, many times he cut your grass, probably paid off the lawnmower.
Well, you don't know that.
And then he just barkers another deal with the next neighbor. He takes their lawnmower and go, here, I got this sweet deal with the last neighbor. Or maybe he doesn't even mention it. He's like, okay, I'll cut your grass for this price, but you have to let me have the lawnmower because I need to cut my grass. So, like, you don't have to cut your grass anymore. And he's like, okay, fair enough.
I'm going to steal your lawnmower, though.
Yeah, I'm going to have your lawnmower, but I'll cut your grass as well. I'll keep on top of it. We'll do it once a month for you.
I don't see many positives to this, Mark.
I'd be like, here, if you promise to cut my grass once a month, you can have my lawnmower.
I think you just give away your lawnmower for nothing.
I trust people. And like, I have faith in humanity, Ken. As much as I gave out about like all the time on the podcast, if someone gave me their word that if I could let them have my lawnmower, they'd cut my grass, I'd believe them.
You know that's called, Mark?
What?
That's called gullible.
That's called trustworthy. I kind of think it's a nice trait. I kind of feel like your man would have done this for me. I think this is a deal I could strike with this guy.
You know, you're one of those people that, like, when you're older now, you're going to get caught in some sort of a fucking phishing scam.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this guy told me he needed money to come over from fucking Azerbaijan. He's a prince.
No, I wouldn't get caught with the Prince story again. But like, definitely, I'm gullible. Definitely would fall for a scam. Like a child saying that they cut my grass for me if I can have their lawnmower. Like, yeah, sure, cool. That's what
Yeah, like, I think if anybody I know will fall for a scam, it's going to be you.
All right. And maybe I strike the deal of my lifetime. I have my grass looking immaculate, right? And some kid comes over and wants to cut my grass for me. And you're there pushing your lawnmower around going, oh, I hate this. This is so crap. And you look over the fence, right? I have my sunglasses on, some orange shoes, and some kid cut my grass. And be like, hey, how's it going, Ken? How's it not being gullible?
Or maybe you're sitting there in fucking waist high grass going, where's the fucking lawnmower?
Ken, you gonna fire your lawnmower?
Going, that fucking kid.
And fucking bastard. That's taking my fucking lawnmower. Promised to cut my fucking grass 2 months ago.
Yeah, he cut the grass the first time and he fucking disappeared with my lawnmower.
Yeah. Possibly. It could go either way. So you just have
and then you see the kid and the kid's like, no, that wasn't me. And you're like, oh yeah, maybe it wasn't him.
Maybe it wasn't him. All these white kids look the same. So the next one happened in the UK, and I actually have a very similar story to this. It happened in Sutton and in West Midlands. Is that a good English accent, Ken? West Midlands. Oh, I can't say that now other than
it's better than your Australian one.
Yeah, fair enough. The incident happened with some guy who broke into an Audi Q7, and I don't know what he was doing for the Q7. I think he had went through the glove box, had taken stuff out of the glove box, but didn't manage to get out of the car because he decided before leaving the Q7 he'd have a bit of a nap. It was later found by the owner's child in the car asleep.
As you do.
As you do. Just like had a bit of a nap. Like I said, like nights just aren't for him. Working at night. Some people can do it, other people can't. And he obviously wasn't used to it. Maybe it was his first time robbing stuff from cars. And he was just like, Jesus. No, it used to be enough past fucking 10 o'clock. I'm gonna rest my head here. It's actually nice seats. And then so I had a bit of a nap and fell asleep and is now in prison.
God damn it.
Yeah, he took. Well, see, like the article said, like he broke into the Audi Q, so taking personal items from the vehicle before nodding off peacefully in the front seat. The owner's 12-year-old son spotted the looter the following morning before the police were called to the scene.
At least he nodded off peacefully.
Yeah, at least he had a nice sleep. And Zoo Reed is the owner, and he basically gave this to the son, this story to the son, and they came up with the shite title of Grand Theft Snorto. Not good. Like,
that's all right.
No, I don't like it at all. I had a better one last week, but I forgot it.
Grand Theft Snorto.
I think the nappy burglar, or sleepy criminals, Britain's most tired criminals. Crime never sleeps.
No.
Apart from this time. Yeah, the owner said that they didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was scary to see a man had broken into her car, but funny that he nodded off comfortably.
At least they had a laugh about it.
Yeah. Well, this happened to me, but I don't know. Like, I think your man was out drinking and fucking just fell asleep. Wasn't gonna make it home. Maybe he thought, oh, I missed my bus. Just find a car and sleep in it. Because like, I was out drinking myself, and I just got a call from my dad at 3:30 in the morning, going like, Mark, there's a man in your car. I was like, I was pissed drunk at this stage. So I was like, get him out of my car. What's he doing in my car? It's like, up him out of your car. He'd fallen asleep in your car. I was like, all right, what are you ringing me for then?
Why was your car? Was your car unlocked?
Yeah. See, my sister, my car was in the way, so my sister moved my car. She didn't fucking bother her whole locking it after, and just left the car open because they leave their cars always open. They're the reason cars automatically lock themselves.
I never leave my car open.
Me too. Like I'd be like quite OCD. I'd hit it like 4 or 5 times, make sure it is locked. But they're like, car will lock itself eventually. They're the reason why your car locks itself. It is my family, basically.
That is madness.
Yeah, I don't understand it myself. But anyway, so like I think he had routed through my glove box as well. But the only thing that was there was like a towel and a few condoms. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing you got out of that.
Well, he didn't even get any condoms. Maybe he did. I was like, oh shit, my parents found my stash. Yeah. So like I think that's the only thing he felt. But it's like he I think my dad just went out with like a stick and woke him up, get the fuck out of the car. And they rang me just to say like if he's hanging around the area, like just be careful. He probably went off to somebody else's car.
He's trying to get into your car.
He's currently sleeping in your car. You didn't lock. Yeah, so yeah, that was my story of the similar incident.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, and like that happened to you. Someone break in and didn't take anything. Just like
no, but like I would never even, like if you are pissed drunk or whatever, you would never even think, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking see if somebody's car is open.
I just have a sleep in. Yeah, because what happens when you wake up the next morning? And you're in the car. Like, yeah, I've never even heard people doing that myself. Like,
it just seems like a mad thing to do.
Yeah, I did it. I think there was one incident where my sister said she seen like a lad standing in her back garden, and she ran out and she was like into the kitchen. She said, "Man, there's some fucking young fella in her back garden." So came in and he was gone. So obviously seen her and legged it. Just getting out of the house.
You got a fright.
Yeah. Then there was another morning where I was on my way to school and I came out and my dad's car was up in blocks. So I thought it was normal. I thought it was completely 100% normal. I was like, oh, Jesus, he must be getting new tyres and put the car up in blocks.
Was this when you lived in Tala?
No. So I wandered off to the school and didn't say anything to my parents. My sister comes out and goes, Mark, did you not see the car up in blocks? I was like, yeah. Is that getting new tyres? He's like, no, fucking hell, Mark. Someone stole his fucking wheels. Why didn't you fucking say anything? So I was like, I thought he was fucking did it himself. She's like, why would he do it himself? Why would he take all 4 wheels off his car? It's like, I don't know.
Oh, fuck's sake, Mark. That takes some doing, though.
Yeah, well, not really. They probably have their own jack.
Yeah, but like, how do you stop the alarm going off with all the shaking and stuff?
Yeah, that is true. They're obviously pretty good at their job.
They're good at their job. They're good at stealing things.
Probably the car was open, wasn't even locked.
The car was open.
Look at the car wasn't gone as well. So he like refused to ever get nice tires for wheels for it again because he spent money on getting like new alloys. I think so. It's like he got robbed. But like he had the safety nut on. You know the ones that are different. They're meant to be unique. So they're able to get those ones off. So.
Oh, where they get the fucking lock nut thing.
Yeah, lock nut. So like, but then his mechanic's like, oh no, Jesus, they have all those lock nut things. They're able to get any wheel off. They're a waste of money. Never have anything nice.
Never have anything nice. Really, it's your fault.
Yeah. So the next thing, right, is So the next thing is a kind of strange story. Like when I first read the story, it was like I kind of felt like your one actually accidentally shot herself. It's kind of like a kind of Harley Quinn almost feel to the story, because your one was a prison officer, and she fell in love with a prisoner who was possibly going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and basically helped him escape from prison, and went on a run with him, and had like sold her house for a ridiculous reduced rate, had cash, had stashed the car in a nearby car park, had basically put in a lot of planning into basically how they were going to run away. And they were basically caught by the police and they went on the run. And then a chase ensued. Your man gave himself up pretty much instantly, and your one shot herself. Now, the article I read kind of was like, your one shot herself and it was accidentally. So that's why I threw her into the whole dumbest criminal thing.
I kind of remember this. So it wasn't accidental.
No, I think she shot herself. I think she's like, I'm not going to prison. I'm a prison officer. They're just going to throw me back into prison that I used to be a prison officer in.
Yeah, she'd have a fierce time.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're a prison officer and when the other prison officer broke somebody out, you're going to be like, fuck that bitch. Going straight to jail.
Yeah, even the inmates are going to be like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to fuck this bitch. They're going to fucking shank her. Good old shank there. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's better off her taking their own life. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Maybe
did she die?
I think so.
All right, because I kind of thought that's why she was going to be an idiot, because she didn't die.
No, it wouldn't. Attempted murder or attempted suicide, it's not a laugh matter, Ken. Shooting yourself accidentally is a laugh matter. It's like this fine line of what we can laugh about, and that's where the line is. And if you thought, whoa, Shite Talk podcast show actually has lines. We do.
They're usually blurred.
They're kind of blurred, and they kind of like have like a back way door where we can slag it off. We have to do it this way.
We have to do it specific.
Yeah. Yeah, they just say like Vicky White was your one's name. She fatally shot herself after a police chase. She was 56 and was accused of fleeing with it says Casey White. Did they get married before they got? Who was 38. They must have got married because they both have the same surname.
Maybe it's a coincidence.
Maybe it is a coincidence. Yeah, especially in Alabama. They're related.
It's her brother.
Yeah, the pair spent more than a week on the run before, maybe at the time of getting married in between. Law enforcement in Indianapolis caught up with them the official, basically, your man gave up to him, and she shot herself. And
so he gave himself up.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, you caught me, and she was like, I'll never surrender.
Yes, but she was going to have a shitty time.
Yeah, she really was. He'll just be like, yeah, tried, didn't get it. Maybe he will have a shitty time because he ran off with a prison officer.
No, I doubt it. They'll all be like, oh, this guy tried to get out.
Yeah.
Good on him. And he'd be like, yeah, I got out. And then the fucking bitch shot herself.
Yeah. It's like she had planned this. Like she bought herself rifles and handgun, and had to like also sold her house for half market value, and bought in 2007 an orange Ford Eagle. This is like a pickup truck, I think, and license plate.
That would have taken some amount of like planning. Like, did nobody think, why is she asking about weird things?
Well, I don't think like if you buy a gun in Alabama, I don't think it's necessarily
Yeah, but like I'm assuming she would have been like asking, or she would have been like looking at weird things around the prison. Like, what's the best way to break somebody out?
Oh, see, I think she was said she was transporting him for some psychiatric valuation upon his court hearing, because he was having a court hearing for a murder. So maybe he had pleaded insanity. So she was like, "Oh, I have to bring him to get psychologically evaluated for this." And then she was bringing out in a van instead of bringing him to the test center place. She just drove him home.
The test center is not an NCP park. It's a further to the test center.
There's like other prisons there. She's waiting in queue. There's like 3 mechanics. Brings them on the ramp. What you see in the board? All right, next guy. Checks his reactions to like hitting on the knee. Shows an eye surgery. Sees if he flinches.
There's an oil check.
Yeah. Yep. He's definitely insane.
You seem to enjoy the oil check.
Yeah, he loved the oil check. Yeah, so so she then brought him to the nearby waiting car. She stashed, put on the plates, had the cash. Don't know what she did for a week, but then got caught. Must got a tip off. Yeah, so like she said, it was well planned and calculated, and plenty of resources, such as cash and a vehicle and plates. But yeah, it didn't work out. But imagine, like, if you're in that job, you're probably like, I could easily break somebody out of this. Like, yeah, this is what I do.
Break people out.
Yeah, imagine they talk about it on the break. It'd be so easy to break someone out of this. And then some guy goes, yeah, all you have to do is, right, say you're bringing from psych evaluation. She's like writing this down. She's like, yeah, I'm just making a grocery list for my dinner later on. Yeah, I have to get onions. Yeah. And you say, whereabouts you sat? Multi-car park. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. And she's like, yeah. Why you asking so much questions? I don't know. Why did you and your man get married? Oh, we like each other.
Just curious.
Yeah. So imagine your man could be like manipulating her, saying like, "Oh yeah, I love you. I wish I could spend my life." And she's like, "He's not really a bad guy." I think he was in prison for like attempted murder, another thing, and he had some charges. He was going to spend the next 56 years for attempted murder, but could have got life if for another case that he was in prison for, I think.
Like, it's all very odd.
Yeah, and like, I think in this scenario, she is in the wrong, and she is deserving of going to prison. Are they in the wrong section of the podcast? We both agreed on this. Breaking a person who was up for attempted murder out of prison, you're in the wrong. stealing a person's lawnmower, we're kind of on the fence about that. We're kind of, Ken says he's bad. I think, like, as long as your man promises to cut his grass for him,
that's all that matters.
all that matters. Do a good deed. Get rewarded in lawnmowers. So next one, I don't think it's the dumbest criminal, but I think like it's an accident that was bound to happen. Happened in Florida, happened in Miami, the state with the smallest attention span of a country full of low attention spans. A deputy accidentally driven over a 23-year-old sunbather on the beach.
As you do.
And like, yeah, you often see these on beaches where it's either lifeguards or sometimes security officers that are employed by the state to keep people safe. And that's the whole idea. Is that like they drive around and make sure there's nothing illegal happening, like dogs on leads and whatever. And basically, they just drive very, very slowly around the beach, just overcrowded beach, where at any minute they could accidentally drive over someone. Why they can't just walk around the beach, I don't know. But apparently they can't. They have to be in a car. Private vehicle has to be there. And someone got driven over. I think it's a right back tire drove over her right side.
I understand why they've got their little fucking car things.
Why?
Because they need to respond to incidents.
Respond by running to your car.
Yeah, but it's not always practical. Like, it's not practical to go backwards to go forwards.
Like, what are they ever going to respond to? Like, I understand lifeguards needing to be near the water and need to get to an instance. So they might be over one side of the beach and they need to go over to the next side of the beach. I understand that part. But these security officers, and usually there's like 3 or 4 cars. They showed a picture of it, and there was 3 or 4 like SUVs parked beside each other. So they're not even spaced out properly. Whereas like they might be like, okay, the beach is 10 miles wide. So if you're over one side, you have to cover 10 miles in a matter of minutes. We need a vehicle, kind of a thing. Like they could have had one whatever length at one end of the beach, another end of the beach, and your man kind of in the middle. And if there's an incident, 2 can respond to it, and the other guy can make his way there.
Yeah, like they need to have, like, they obviously have to have a certain response time.
Yeah,
like,
have more officers.
Yeah, well, that's not currently going to happen, seeing as they're on a big fucking defund the police buzz, aren't they?
But this is security. This is probably a private company who is paid by the state. I wouldn't say this is law enforcement in terms of things like this. I think they're like a shop security kind of a thing.
Yeah, they're still going to need to respond to incidents.
Yeah, they do. They need to respond to incidents, and obviously, they're only being paid a certain amount to keep an eye on the beach. So they probably like, we can't afford to put officers there. But like they're always hanging groups of, and they always drive like, you always see them driving 5 feet, and then they might stop for a bit, and they might drive another few feet down the beach, and they might stop there for a bit, and then they drive another few feet down the beach, and then come back up. And then be like in their little huts talking, drinking tea. They don't ever look too like active.
Like, it's probably like the fucking security in like shopping centers and stuff. Like, they have to be in. Once you start your patrol, you have to get it done in a certain amount of time. And they have to hit certain points. Like, do you ever see them in super or like in fucking shopping centers where they have to tap the wall at certain points?
Yeah, I just think drones would make this a whole lot easier, where they have vehicles, right, and they have dune buggies, and they have like there is a police presence. Because I do think there's also an element of it is if there's a police presence or a security presence, people are less likely to commit crimes. So if you have police on the beach, people and they're visible to see, that people can see, people aren't going to fuck around. Whereas if you don't have police on the beach, people might fuck around. And it probably scares off beggars or like stuff like that. Stop the homeless coming around asking for money or while people are sunbathing.
Yeah, like there's loads of stuff. Like there's people go around robbing shit on beaches. Like there's
But
a
like
lot
the thing
of
is, like anytime someone robs something on
sexual
the
assaults
beach,
on beaches.
but like anytime someone robs something on beaches, like security go, oh, all right, what was the items? Okay, we'll make a note of it, and then they go back to their hut and drink some more tea because they can't really do that. And they kind of go, we'll see if we can spot like on this vast beach somebody with a fucking iPhone or like your purse.
It's illegal to drink on beaches as well, I think, in the US.
Is it?
So, like, there's that.
I wouldn't say Miami is illegal though.
Yeah, you can't drink in public.
All right.
What else? Like, there's massive potential for like sexual assaults on beaches.
Yeah.
Kidnapping. Like loads of shit.
I want to see this TV series, Ken.
Yeah, but there's loads of shit that could happen on a fucking beach.
I want to see the Miami beach patrols.
Yeah, do you ever watch that show?
Is there a program there?
There is a show that follows
Miami Beach Patrol.
I can't remember what state it's in, but it follows the fucking lifeguards.
Oh, that's Australia. Yeah, I do. I do actually. I have seen that. That show is more based around people like getting drunk on beaches and falling asleep, or people drowning. You don't really see too many of sexual assaults or you see like kids go missing, but they like get lost and then they get like they go to the lifeguard place and they're like. They do it as almost like a public service thing of like, if you get lost, go to the security. And they said they put that on the show like, oh yeah, here's all these incidents of these kids going lost, but he knew what to do by going to the lifeguard desk thing or finding a lifeguard and going to them.
Like there's massive potential for shit to happen.
Like I said, there is a good idea to have a police presence there, to have some kind of security presence and lifeguard presence there as well. I can see that. I can also see why they need vehicles. I just don't see why they have to aimlessly drive around the beach where people, especially on a busy day, are sunbathing.
Because they need to patrol.
Patrol on the feet and then have guys ready to jump in cars to respond.
It's not practical to patrol on your feet if you've got to like respond to shit.
Yeah, because if you have people in the security hut and they can respond in the cars if they needed to.
Yeah, but what if the incident is the far end of the beach?
They drive to the far end of the beach.
It drastically drops your response time. They have to meet a response time.
Yeah, but like if you have people walking the beach, right, and you have another people in cars waiting in a security hut, and they can respond in a car if incident occurred. Because this isn't the only time this happened. This happened in France on a beach and it happened twice on a different beach in the US. So this happens a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it happens a lot.
Well, these are the instances that were reported. It probably does happen quite a bit more. And there's probably close calls where maybe it was like they driven over someone's foot, or they were almost like driven over somebody, or like they're like anytime you have someone lying down in the sand and you have a person in a raised pickup jeep, like you can't really see over the bonnet too well underneath it. The clearance is so much that like you wouldn't notice a person lying down, and that's why these incidents occur. I think with drones, people, men on the beach, and having then cars and people able to respond from a security hut would be like you get down a beach quite easily in a hurry if you needed to.
And I think it makes more sense to have them going around their little
And
things.
occasional person get knocked over. It's a surprise you have to pay for a safe, free, non-robbing beach. That probably happens anyway.
Yeah, like it just, I don't know. And if you're stupid enough to lie there when you hear a fucking thing coming for you as well,
I don't think he was coming from. I think he was just aimlessly driving around the beach for no reason, and then
yeah, but that's
drove
what I mean.
over
Like,
someone.
do you not hear it coming?
No, you can fall asleep on a beach. You can have music in it, and the things don't generally move that fast that they would be using high revs.
I don't know. I think it makes perfect sense for them to have them.
It makes sense to them have them driving around aimlessly on the beach. I think it's where we fall off.
Yeah, well, you're not driving around aimlessly. You're like driving around patrolling shit.
You can patrol on the foot. That's where we're getting off. Like you can have officers on the ground patrolling. Then you can have officers in the car.
So if your house got broken into, you'd prefer the guards to say, "Okay, there'll be a guard walking out to you now in half an hour."
Well, anytime we've had to call the police, we've called the police, it's been a half an hour and they had to drive there anyway, or it has been 2 hours. If a guard walked out in a half an hour, it'd be like grand. At least he walked down, and that's a acceptable like police time for someone walking down. Like the idea isn't like having. I'd rather see guards patrolling the streets, and if there's a crime, another guard drives down.
Like your response time is far quicker if you got a vehicle.
But like, I'd rather. Would you not rather see guards patrolling on the streets instead of sitting in cars? And then if there's an instance, there's other officers in cars to respond to those incidents.
Yeah, but those officers don't just sit around the guard station going, "Oh, if something happens, now we'll get into the car and go." They actually drive around and patrol the place.
You wouldn't. You see them driving around and patrolling the place, but you'd rather also have guards on the streets, walking the streets, as just a police presence.
Yeah, but who's going to get to you quicker?
Obviously, the person in the car is Ken, but you'd rather also still see the guards on the streets. That's why you have officers in Dublin on the streets, walking streets.
And driving around patrolling.
Well, they drive around on roads, but this is where people are lying down. This is the difference between a beach and a city.
Yeah, but you still need to patrol it. You still need to have.
Yeah, you can do that.
You still need to have a response time. Like their response time.
Yeah, and they would have a response time.
But it would be a lot slower.
And they have, because they all have stations there. These Miami beaches, because they're such a vast thing, they'd have like a full-blown station there. They'd have several different vehicles. They'd have multiple staff there. They'd have people on desks. Isn't that like there wouldn't be a person free to jump in the car and go down the other side of the beach while people are on patrol walking around?
Isn't it like there's be a lot slower?
It won't be a lot. Well, what if officers at the other end of the beach in his car? Then he has to go past the station. Like it wouldn't necessarily be close. Be slower.
It'd be a lot slower.
It wouldn't be a lot slower because if you're at the other end of the beach patrolling and something happens to the other end, you have to get up that beach. Whereas if there's an officer, let's say the station's in the middle of the beach, at the station he could get in the car and drive up.
Yeah, but I'm assuming there's multiple cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they'd be at different points of the beach.
No, they all circle around. Yeah, there would be ones at different points of the beach, but like still, you could still have officers stationed in cars that to be stopped, and other ones patrolling the beach.
I just think it makes no sense if they're all just walking around the place.
Because there's people who keep getting driven over when they're sunbathing. That's what I get.
Yeah, but it's like it makes no sense, Mark.
It does make sense because people keep getting knocked over. Like people kept crashing when they're drunk, so they brought out drunk driving laws.
It makes no sense.
When incidents keep happening, you bring in preventions of these incidents.
But you weigh up the positives and the negatives, and the positives outweigh the negatives.
No, because you can just have them in a station who can go into a car and respond, or have people stationed in cars at different ends of the beaches, and have also people on just patrolling on the foot. So you have your patrollers walking around the beach, you have your people stationed to move to an incident that occurred, and you have your station with spare officers there. You have your cake and you can eat it too.
No, it's about response times. Response times are better if you've got vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. We agree with that. You keep going back to we can't. They have to aimlessly drive around because they have to respond to it.
Yeah,
so you don't have to. You can have people walk around the beach.
Like, you know that ambulances don't sit in ambulance bays all day.
This is the difference in ambulance bay. Anyway, we're getting off this topic because I'm probably going
to get off topic. It's about.
Isn't it respond to an incident, Ken? It's about, like, what we're trying to prevent is people getting run over, which happens multiple times in multiple stations. Like, this is what we're responding. I'm not saying not have vehicles. I'm not saying don't respond to an incident. I'm saying don't have people driving around aimlessly on the beach when you can have people walking the beach.
Yeah, but the best way to respond to an incident is by patrolling the area on
foot.
Vehicle.
And having vehicles there is the best way to respond to it. Is having vehicles at hand, having officers to jump in, but having people walk the beaches. Because there's better deterrent. Having visible presence is better deterrent. Having officers walking up and down the beaches where they can keep an eye and stuff, you can see a lot better on foot. They can respond, say, here, there's an incident over there, or there's no officer at this point of the beach, send somebody up. And they can also, if something happens, like someone being robbed, they can go over to the officer and go, here, my car has been broken into, or my fucking child's missing, and here's the description. He can then radio that in, and then the patrol people can start patrolling at that point. But at least then you don't have a fucking security officer not paying attention and driving over people, which happens multiple times, probably a lot more than is being reported.
You're going to be better off with a vehicle.
And a load of people in wheelchairs because they're out sunbathing and some officer wasn't paying attention.
You're going to be way better in a vehicle.
Well, no one's arguing if they're going to be better with response time. Like you keep mentioning that there's going to be a better response time, and I was like, yeah, we're not talking about that. We're just talking where you can have people patrolling as well as response vehicles, and you.
Yeah, but it's about response.
Yeah, but you keep saying that, like I'm arguing the fact that you'd be quicker not responding. No one's arguing that you're not quicker. You're just safer to have people patrolling at 5 kilometers per hour, fucking driving over people. That it'd be better just to have people walking around the beach at the same time, rather than having a patrol car fucking drive 5 kilometers aimlessly around.
I'm sure people walking around as well.
No, they don't. That's the thing, because they're in
US. How do you know that they don't? Like, they probably do have people walking around as well.
Yeah, then you don't need someone driving 5 kilometers running over.
Well, you do, because they can respond to incidents quicker.
Because, yeah, you can have that. No one's arguing that they can respond. The problem is them running over people. Them running over people is probably a reason not to have them drive around aimlessly.
But it's not.
It is aimlessly if you have you have people already patrolling.
You respond to incidents quicker.
No one's arguing that, Ken. No one's arguing. No one has said that you can respond to incidents quicker. I've never said you can't respond to incidents. You can definitely walk to an incident quicker. No one has argued that. You keep mentioning this point, and no one has brought that point up.
If you're further away from an incident...
Yeah, once again, no one was arguing that point. I haven't said that they can't respond to incident quicker. I'm saying that they've clearly are keep knocking people down, so they shouldn't be driving around unless it's necessary.
But it is necessary.
It isn't necessary, Ken, when they have people on the beach walking and patrolling themselves.
But it is still necessary.
It isn't necessary when you can have drones, you can have people walking around
on
the beach.
They carry more supplies in cars. They carry
once again, Ken, I'm not saying no one's arguing that they shouldn't have cars. No one here is arguing that they shouldn't have cars. The argument
you are arguing that they shouldn't have vehicles on the beach.
The argument is they shouldn't be driving around aimlessly, not that they shouldn't have cars. I haven't said once that they shouldn't have cars.
They're not driving around aimlessly.
They are driving around aimlessly because they're on patrol, and your man was making a right turn and driven over somebody. So he was obviously turning around, didn't see a person on the beach, and ran over him. They weren't responding to an incident at the time.
Yeah, but that's not driving around aimlessly. If he's
That is
driving
driving around aimlessly.
That's driving around aimlessly. He's on patrol.
Yeah, I'm saying they shouldn't have vehicles on patrol. They should have vehicles to respond to incidents. And that's what I'm saying. Not saying they shouldn't have vehicles. No one's saying they shouldn't have vehicles again. I'm just saying they shouldn't be on patrol in vehicles because clearly to keep knocking people over.
That makes no sense, Mark.
It does. It does make
it makes absolutely no sense.
Keep knocking people over, Ken.
But they don't keep knocking people over. Like, how many people a year?
This is people that are being fucking run over. It happens several times on this beach. This is not the only time in the beach. It happened somewhere else in the US and has happened in France.
Okay, how many visitors to the beach versus how many people got knocked over?
Ken, I don't have those figures.
Yeah, so then how can you say, the risk is fucking too great?
Well, the risk is too great if it keeps happening. Like, if it happens several times, you need to do something about it, Ken.
Mark, nonsense.
It isn't nonsense. Like, you keep just circling back to the point that no one has made, which is they need to respond to incidents.
Yeah, but that's the purpose. That's what they're doing. That's why no
one's arguing that point, Ken.
So come up with a better fucking argument for them then, that other than responding in vehicles. No one's made that argument against. No one has said that they don't need to respond to incidents in vehicles. I've said that they do need to respond to incident vehicles, but they shouldn't be driving around patrolling when they can do it with drones and people. That's just nonsense.
It isn't nonsense.
People are a lot slower, and drones would be absolutely useless.
People are a lot slower, but that's why you have vehicles there to respond to incidents, but you have people to patrol.
You're making no sense, Mark. You're making absolutely no sense.
I'm making no sense because you think I keep saying that a person walking can't get to an incident quicker than a vehicle, and I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but the whole purpose of responding to an incident is to get there quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both agreement on that, Ken.
So that's why they have vehicles patrolling the beach.
No, the thing is, I'm saying they can probably drive the length of the beach or have cars stationed at different points of the beach, but have also people walking around that if there is an incident, an officer can drive to there, but if they're not responding to an incident, they're not driving the car.
And that drastically reduces the response time.
No, if they're staggered at different points of the beach.
It does. It drastically responds. Like, that slows down everything.
It doesn't slow down anything.
If you've got a guy walking that goes, "Oh, we need a car. We need somebody to come up here in a car now."
Well,
yeah, or that guy could just be in a car.
Well, he goes, "There's an incident at this point of the beach. Send officers to that." Like, how has he been alerted? He's probably been alerted by someone coming up to him and saying, "There's this happened." They're like, "All right." And then he goes, "There's been an incident at this point of the beach. I'm going to respond to it now." Other officers will then go to that incident and respond to it.
Or he could just be in a car and respond to it himself.
Well, like that person was able to get to him probably quicker than a person far off in the car who can't hear him. Because they're in a car and it's driven past where he was, and he's running there. Has to try to run after a vehicle. Whereas he was able, your man on the beach, walking the beach, was able to hear him. By the way, you've already said there's probably people patrolling the beach anyway, so you obviously think their job is useless and get rid of the people walking. Because you've already said there's people patrolling the beach as well.
Yeah, there probably is people patrolling the beach as well.
Yeah. So what point is it if a person officer still has to fucking radio in that there's been an incident? In your logical situation, someone has come up to that security officer as well. So like you said, like I don't understand your point that you're trying to make there.
So guy has a heart attack.
Yeah.
The car has a fucking one of those electric shock things.
Yeah.
The closest person to him is a guy walking on his patrol, and the fucking car is back 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that person's gonna die.
Yeah. So like in your patrol, but like you already said, there's people. Yeah, but you already said right that there's gonna be people on the beach. So there's already, in your scenario, there's people driving around patrol, and there's also people walking. Right? So if the officer was alerted to that incident, there's probably going to be an officer patrolling. That officer can be at anywhere. Just as the person who is stopped. So you're in a zone, let's say, the beach is broken on the zone. There might be, I don't know how many vehicles per zone. In my scenario, they're just parked in the zone, and an officer radios in, there's been a person who had a heart attack. The nearest officer would respond to that. Your incident is they're driving zones, right? But they can be anywhere in the zone. They're moving around. An officer has responded in, there's been a person with a heart attack. He's going to then turn around or drive to that incident and bring the defibrillator. There's no difference there. The only difference is when they're on patrol in the car, they're not really paying attention to things that are close to them. They're possibly paying attention to things that are far away, and they're accidentally run over. In my scenario, they're parked in a zone and they can drive to an incident, but there's no risk to them knocking someone over when they're not responding to an incident.
Nah, we're going to have to just agree to disagree on this one, Mark, because you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, my incident, no one gets knocked over. Your incident, it keeps happening. And you just ignore that it keeps happening. like I think if you put to the good people of Miami, which would you rather? They were going to pick my solution, because your solution has officers on the beach as well.
Yeah, no, I think mine makes more sense.
How does yours make more
absolutely no sense?
Why does mine make no sense then? Explain
because
to me where
they're not moving. Like, they're already moving in my scenario. Like, that's why you do these things. They're already moving.
They're already moving. So in your scenario, an officer on the beach gets alerted to a problem, because your beach also has officers patrolling, right? So an officer gets alerted to it and radios it in. But your scenario, there's a security person in the vehicle who can be anywhere in their zone. They could be closer, but they also can be further away. And
and in your scenario, they're not even in a fucking car.
My scenario, right? I said you have different vehicles.
In your scenario, you've got this vehicle that's sitting there in a zone that has nobody in a fucking car.
No, there would be an officer in the car, but
then you're paying somebody to do nothing.
You're paying someone to do nothing until an incident anyway. The only other difference is you're paying for diesel or you're not paying for diesel.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Mark.
Well, no, but explain my logic to me, though. Where I'm falling down my logic of where you have an officer
because a moving vehicle responds quicker than a stationary vehicle.
Not necessarily.
Yes, it does. 100% it does.
You're in your scenario, he can be further or closer to the incident.
And in yours, you can too. Like, where's the vehicle?
Exactly. So that's where I'm saying. The only difference in my scenario is someone doesn't get knocked down aimlessly.
No.
How am I wrong in this scenario, though?
Because you can still get knocked down.
You can still get knocked down, but you're responding to an incident. So you'll have sirens on. You'll have out of the way vehicle coming through. People will be alerted to red flashing lights, a siren going through there as you respond. Whereas, so you're responding to an incident. Some might get knocked over as you respond to it. In these scenarios, officers aren't paying attention and are driving over on patrol. In my scenario, that wouldn't happen. That's why I say aimlessly. You wouldn't get. There wouldn't be an incident aimlessly where you're just on patrol, not paying attention.
You're just going to have to agree to disagree.
Well, that's what I said 15 minutes ago. I was like, we'll just move on. And you said, no, we're settling this. And then you realized you don't have a logical point. So let's...
I do. My point is the logical point.
No, it isn't, because people keep getting knocked down in your scenario.
Yeah, but it makes more sense to have the vehicles already moving.
How does it?
Because you have a quicker response time.
You don't necessarily.
Yes, you do.
Because in your scenario, your vehicle could be further away than the vehicle
that's stationary. It is literally, this is quite literally why ambulances don't sit in ambulance bays, because the response time is quicker when the vehicle is already moving.
There's ambulances
my sister trained as a paramedic.
Yeah, but the ambulances aren't knocking people over on patrol, Ken.
Yeah, but it's about response time. It's not about knocking people over. It's response times.
Animals aren't knocking people over on the beach. Whereas this
just keep going to ambulances don't knock people over. Ambulances don't knock people. Ambulances do knock people over sometimes.
They don't drive over people on the street, whereas they're not paying attention to it on the road, and they probably shouldn't be ambulance people.
Like it comes down to response time. That's what these things are about.
It comes down to incidents that happen, and on these incidents, there's people keep getting ran over on the beach. So that's what this is a very avoidable thing. You can have drones that can scope areas, that can see larger view.
Drones is the most retarded idea ever, Mark.
How is it the most retarded? Because you can cover a larger area quicker.
But they can't do anything.
They can alert officers to an incident that officers haven't actually spotted themselves, or people haven't things. So, like, let's say drones going around, they see there's looks like there's a fight breaking out. Then your man radios in. There seems to be an incident at this part of the beach. Officers respond to it, and by the time somebody gets somebody stabbed. But before someone alerts the officers to it, because before that, the officers mightn't see it. They might be up at the other end of the zone, and there mightn't be someone patrolling, walking around the beach that spots it. But the drone sees it because it has a larger view. Anyway, this is not what the podcast is meant to be about. It's meant to be about crack. This is the.
Well, I know two people that would get crack out of
that. Those people are mentally ill. They'll tell them yourselves.
You're going to have to apologize for that next week.
Probably will. Probably have to apologize in training.
Now I didn't know what you're talking about them.
Yeah. I'm telling them now. Anyway, that's our show. Who do you agree with? You can email in or message in at Shite Talk Show or Shite Talk Podcast Show at gmail.com on who you agree with. Is it Ken, that people should continue being run over by security on beaches, or Mark, who believes they should just sit up and do nothing and wait till an incident happens before driving? You can have your verdict. We'll be back next week.
Maybe.
We have to go through counselling. We'll get through this. This isn't the whole... I don't know what was our last big fight about?
Did you have one last week?
I don't know. There was one thing we were arguing a lot over. I don't think it was a fight, but we were like... It went on for the whole entire show was gone. And
there was one like a few weeks ago.
Was it a few weeks ago? It happens every now and again. We kind of... It doesn't happen... And then something happens and we're like, hey, I think it was the housing thing. Remember the housing thing?
No.
Oh, there was a housing debacle.
Like, I kind of argue about anything.
Me too. See, that's why we get into these scenarios. I love a bit of a good argument about something.
I don't even remember the housing thing.
Yeah, because sometimes I watch. There's like a LBC phone-in show. Something O'Brien is your man's name. I watch that just to hear people arguing.
People arguing on the radio is the funny one.
Yeah, exactly. That's my dream, to have a phone-in show where I argue with people. And playing rock music.
Play rock music and argue with people.
Oh, no, shut up. I'm playing Metallica. You have a stupid point. Now here's Nothing Else Matters.
The Mark Kearns, what would you call
experience?
Mark Kearns experience.
Dribbled, but I don't know. Talk to Mark. Anyway, we'll leave it there for next week. We'll come back with... Maybe we'll have another argument. If this catches on, me and Ken will fight every week. About topics you choose.
Yeah, give us a topic that's going to be the fight. Divisive.
Yeah, but we want to know what you think. Also, if there's a way, like, I think you can do a messenger, or you can do it on... Yeah, you can do a messenger, and you can do it on Instagram. Have your... you can leave voice notes. So you can have your name on the voice notes. We'll put those voice notes on the podcast. And look, we can bring you into the show. Like that.
Yeah.
Do that. All right, we'll be back next week. Talk to you then. Oh, no.